Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to this webinar this evening. I request you to stay tuned. We'll start in a couple of minutes. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited and delighted to see you all here. Thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Ramya, and I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Smart Interns for today's webinar, Smart Start to Salesforce. For those who don't know about Smart Interns already, we have been in edtech space working with universities around the globe to build the next gen talent pool. Smart Interns enables an efficient and global pipeline between academia and industry through online real-world projects and externships in partnership with top tech companies like IBM, VMware, Blue Prism, Tableau, etc. As you probably know by now, getting a degree isn't the finish line. It is just the beginning. Continuous learning and upskilling is now the norm. Getting trained in a particular technology track accompanied with soft skills will definitely give you a sizable edge over the other candidates when it comes to getting placed in a company. So here we are launching yet another program in collaboration with StackNexus called SmartStart, which also take care of your soft skills along with technical training and placement. The collaboration with StackNexus is extremely special to us as the vision behind this program is so significant. We are extremely grateful for all the assistance they have provided, and we sincerely appreciate their cooperation. Moving on, in this webinar, you will get to know the insights of Salesforce career paths and all the details of Smart Start program and how to begin your career journey in the Salesforce ecosystem from our speakers. So today, here we have with us Ms. Neha Bharadwaj, Director of Solutions StackNexus, Mr. Nitin Jain, Global CFO and Director Asia, Smart Interns. Hello, Neha, and hello, Nitin.
Hey, Ramya. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Hey Ramya, thanks for inviting us here today. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Sure. So, without taking any much of your time, let me introduce the guest of the day, an excellent team player and a very strong team leader, Ms. Neha Bharadwaj, Director of Solutions, TechNexus. She has more than 11 years of IT experience in developing applications in various domains and technologies. A senior software developer with full system development lifecycle experience, including designing, developing, and implementing. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Neha. Over to you, Neha.
Thanks, Ramya. Thanks for the introduction. Uh, so, guys, good evening to everyone here. And those of us, I'm not really sure about the audience now. So, maybe if somebody from here is outside India, so wherever in whatever part of the world you are, good morning, good afternoon, accordingly. Very quickly about myself, I'm Neha Bharadwaj and I'm a Salesforce architect. I've been with the Stack Nexus from the days of foundation, and it's been almost 4 to 5 years that I'm working with this organization. And I have been leading the Salesforce technology solution development global. So that's what about me. I'm currently based out of India, and I've been in the ecosystem for a good 12 years now. And as far as Salesforce is concerned, I have good 10 years of experience. So almost 10, I would say. Not exactly, but yeah, almost 10 years of experience is what I have. Uh, Before I go ahead and start, I'll share my screen, and maybe I can quickly share the agenda for today with you guys. So Ramya, please confirm once you're able to see the screen.
Yes, Neha, it's with you.
Perfect. Sounds good. So today I'm going to be taking a quick glance at the introduction to Salesforce. We'll talk about how you can learn Salesforce and what are the different career paths in Salesforce that is being offered by the technology and platform. So the first most important question: why you all are here? I believe most of you, and rather all of you, are here today in this session because you're looking to start your career in Salesforce. You want to understand what exactly is Salesforce. Some of you might have an understanding, some of you might have just heard the word, but you know that this is a buzzword in the industry right now. So, very quickly. there could be multiple reasons why you would want to choose Salesforce as the technology which you would want to start your career in, or you want to move your career from A technology to B technology. B, having said that, is Salesforce. So number one, Salesforce is the leading CRM, and it has been the leading CRM for good 8 years now. Uh, Unbeatable, of course. For last 8 years, Salesforce has been winning this award back to back. So this is one of the most important reasons, I would say. Now, on the top of it, with the latest acquisitions that Salesforce has done in last few years, and then they have the platform as development to be offered alongside the services. So that makes it, that makes it more of a choice for other people also, like not only for the ones who are looking to establish their career in CRM, but also for the one who want to be into the core IT industry development, solutioning and everything. So it gives you a kind of a platform there. Uh, Now, having said that, it's not just sales and service cloud anymore, which is the core part of any CRM system, but it has, marketing, it has its foot into commerce, integrations with MuleSoft and everything else. You name it, and Salesforce has it to offer. So that's one of the major reason why a lot of workforce and a lot of developers in India, or graduates, postgraduates in India from the engineering background, are being attracted to this particular platform. And why not? Why not? Looking at the diverse platforms or offerings and products that Salesforce has to offer, absolutely, it should be the choice, undoubtedly. Now, career prospect. Why? So that's about the platform. Now, why do you want to, apart from what the platform has to offer, why would you want to start your career with, again, Salesforce? Number one is the high demand. Again, the platform is so diverse. You have various domains in which the Salesforce has their establishment. So definitely there's a high demand of the resources who can probably work on this platform and deliver the products and services. So that's one reason. And now you all might be absolutely aware of, whenever there's a high demand of something, it is directly proportional to the payments or the pay that you're going to get out of it. Okay, high demand directly proportional to the high pay. Okay, so that's how it is. And scarcity of resources, Salesforce resources in the market, also increases the kind of eventually the kind of paychecks one would have in their buckets once they start the career. So having said that, I always tell people to keep in mind that uh, getting into Salesforce is not an easy way to get rich. That's not what I meant. What I'm trying to say is, just because you see that there's a huge demand and then high salary package, it does not directly convert into the salaries initially. It might and it might not, depending upon what kind of job you get into, and what kind of I would say what kind of knowledge you have, and once you start, what are you proficient at when you start your career with. But eventually, with with time and effort, and some hard work being put into, you would definitely see the reads in the long run. Absolutely, the benefits would be seen in the long run. Absolutely. So that's about being a developer, or the other profiles. We'll shortly discuss the other roles that you have in Salesforce. Those are the advantages, and this is what you'll have to keep in mind. One tip before we actually get into how you can learn and what are the roles, is that always keep learning. Whether it's Salesforce, whether it's any other technology, keep yourself updated. Keep validating your knowledge, keep taking courses wherever you can, whichever you find is good for you, and keep yourself updated. So keeping updated, latest in the technology, would be your key to success. This is what I have believed, this is what I have done, and by God's grace, it has all been good. So that's what my suggestion to all of you all will be. Now, one question that I have been asked throughout my career, and as I progressed to, kind of higher profiles, the new people who join in, the people who are trying to make shift from one technology to the other, is the biggest question is, how do I get started with Salesforce? Where do I learn it from? What exactly do I need to learn in Salesforce? So a lot of questions. Uh, I'm not sure the ones that who are aware of what Salesforce is. You might have done your bit of research before you came into here. You might have read Trailheads, right? So Trailheads is one platform which is offered by the Salesforce itself, where you'd find a lot of material, and then a lot of material, abundance of material you'd find there. So that's one good way to self study, to self start. Having said that, uh, trailheads could be a good start for you, but at the end of the day you need more structured understanding of things, and that's when you would start to look for other opportunities. You might want to register for a free org which Salesforce provide, and this is one of the major reason why Salesforce is so popular, because you want to learn, they give you a free license, you register with them, and you have your own org wherever you can, however you want to practice, you want to learn things, you can do that. That's the second way of doing it. The other way is, of course, there are various. I would say there is abundance of resources available online. You can go through that, but always choose the one which is more structured, which in which you get the most of the guidance. So that's what I would say. Guidance is very important. Salesforce is absolutely vast, so you'll have to understand what to study and what not to study. That does matter. You can't be master of everything in the first run itself. So having a structured plan, having a structured program, having mentors would be really really helpful for you if you would actually keen to learn Salesforce and make your career in here. Now, let me quickly jump to probably now the roles and paths that Salesforce has to offer. So basically, when you will talk about the technology or engineering jobs, you'd mostly hear this path, right? You could be a developer to start with, maybe a junior developer in some organization. They start with that, and then you developer, then you're senior developer, and then you become a architect, then a technical architect, and so on and so forth. So this definitely, the one you see here, is the path which is more of the technical things. And when I say developer, senior developer, that's going to be more about the coding. I'm pretty sure when you're going through your curriculum, you might have read .NET, you might have created a lot of programs in Java. There could be many things that you might have written some point-to-point integrations. So the code writing, where hard code custom development you talk about, and you'll have to write the code for it. Okay, any language, maybe any language. This is the path which is for you guys. If you have a logical mind, if you're absolutely interested in coding, if you are good at solutioning, this is your path to adapt to. And then eventually with experience you'll move to senior developer, and eventually to various level of architects. You have a solution architect, technical architect, application architect, various roles that Salesforce has to offer. But this is going to be a gradual path for you. So initial few years as a developer, then once you'd start leading the team. You'd help out other people aside, apart from doing just your job. You'd become senior developer, and when eventually you'd start designing the solution, then you'd become an architect. That's what the path is for. Now, if you see this blue path, which is often not taken very seriously, but I would say in Salesforce there's a lot of scope here as well, not just as a developer, but the people who are not very interested in writing long lengthy codes, creating classes. If that is not your cup of tea, you'd be really glad to hear that Salesforce is a low code platform. And when I say low code platform, people often confuse it with admin. I would want to be very clear that this and this is absolutely two different things, and how they are. In low code, when you're a low code developer, or when you're a low code specialist, as we call it in the industry, there are tools which are provided by the platform itself. So Salesforce has a lot of things, process builders, flows, which are drag and drop. You can utilize them, and you'd be able to achieve almost all the things that you can achieve by writing the codes. So pre-designed, pre-created components that can be utilized, can be configured, can be enhanced to almost achieve whatever you can with the code pieces that you would write, like long lengthy classes that you would achieve. So that's what a low code specialist is. And being an architect, I have always recommending people, who even if it's a developer or a low code specialist, always start as a low code specialist in terms of building. So even an architect's choices, if your architect is giving you a job to done, even, and if you're a developer, even then they would want you to start from the low code rather than actually go ahead and start writing the code. There are a lot of advantages. I will not get into that for now, but that's what low code is all about. And again, to be a low code developer, you have to have a logical mind. You'd be able to do solutioning as much as you'll be able to do when you're a developer. It's just that you are trying to utilize the features that the platform has to offer rather than creating it from the scratch and writing the code for it. This is what low code. And then eventually you become an analyst, you become a specialist in the low code development platform, and then you can move towards the architect or a consultant role. Either roles are open for you. It's not that you cannot be an architect if you take that path. Absolutely, you are still, because you have been solutioning, you understand the platform very well, you could become an architect in the long run. So that path is open for you as well, this set of people. Now, admin and senior admin, I would say this is more about actual configuration. Here, you might not be developing, you'll not be creating processes, you'll not be creating the business flow, whereas you will be supporting the developers and your low code specialist, analysts, architects, consultants to set up their system. That's what it is about. So you'll have, again, the platform has a lot of things which are out of the box available, which does not need any extra logic, and you can just go ahead, put some values there, and you're ready to go. The full flow is already ready without even doing a single bit of code. Not even low code is required for that. So that's what admin and senior admin is all about. QA, senior QA, I think most of you would have seen this in your or might have heard about it. QA is, I would say, a quality analyst, more commonly known as tester, but I wouldn't say that. I would always prefer to call it as a quality analyst, because they see whatever a developer, a low code developer, or an admin has done, or even these set of people. These are the set of people who would be actually verifying it, validating it, that it looks good, it runs as per the business perspective, or it runs as per the demand or the requirements which were captured. So this is one of the most important roles which is ignored in the industry. And when you specifically talk about Salesforce, and admin skills are absolutely necessary to be into a QA path as well. So, in order to test something, you just validate something, you would want to create some user, you want to create the permissions, and that's where the admin skills into play. So to be an admin or to be a QA, either of these paths, you would have to eventually learn some bit of admin. So that's when you're learning the admin skills, you're not building the admin skills only, but you're also building your QA skills as well while you do this particular learning. You take this particular path, and then eventually, again, I would say you're in either of these paths, admin or QA, you would be pretty much comfortable transiting into a consultant role, where when you become an admin, or you become a QA, you're well accustomed with the platform, its feature, it's what it has to offer, what different products are associated with this platform, and then you are ready to be a consultant, where you'd be working very, very closely with your clients, and you might not be proposing the exact solution, but you would be able to at least identify, if this platform is a fit or not. And if this platform is a fit, what exact product of this platform, or what exact offering of this platform is going to be useful for you. So here, this consultant is going to work very, very closely with your architect, and also as the with the business team. That's what a consultant role is. This entire thing, you'd be able to find a good mapping of this on the Salesforce website too, where they have different roles defined. Of course, not one-on-one mapping, because there they have the developer, and then consultant, and the last one that I do remember is, I believe it's an architect part that they have. But yes, pretty much, or probably admin. My bad. I'll take my word back. And admin. So these are the three parts that they have: the developer part, the admin part, and consultant. But I have tried to, kind of divide it into further, so that you have an understanding of when you're learning what is your career path, and where you're going to eventually get with it. So this is it from my side today. Ramya, over to you. And if you want to open up a question, more than happy to take that.
Thank you so much, Neha. It was a very informative session, and thank you for clearly explaining the paths to Salesforce. I think we'll have the question round at the end, so we can start with the next session.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you for that. Ramya, I'll take over now.
Okay, sure.
All right. Awesome. So basically what you heard from Neha was a little bit of information about what is Salesforce. Now, I am a finance person. I'm the CFO for SmartBridge. I am based in Singapore, and currently I also serve as the Director Asia for SmartBridge. So I like numbers. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a feel for numbers. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a few numbers. So bear with me. So I'm going to start very simply by showing you this is the sales force stock price over the last 5 years. So it has grown 250% over the last 5 years. And currently you can see it is basically at an all-time high. They have all of these softwares, actually you'll see Tableau, Pardot, MuleSoft, etc. And currently there is no stopping. I think right now the kind of offerings that they're having in the market, there is a lot of demand, right? And how do we know that? So I'm going to show you some more numbers for that. Okay. So this is essentially information that we have from an external survey that's been done purely around Salesforce cloud jobs, right? So how many jobs were created until 2018? Around 1.27 million jobs were created around the world. And the forecast right now is basically another 4.2 billion jobs, basically. And if you see here, there is a massive amount that is expected to come just from India. So when we are talking to some of the folks in the market right now, we are seeing that there is a demand for at least 10 to 14,000 or 15,000 additional resources just within the next year as such. So this is the reason why we are confident on offering the Smart Start program, where we feel confident that if you are able to go through the certification process, if you are eligible for that, if you actually work hard towards it, there is a good future for you. Right now, what is certification? So essentially, these are the benefits that you have from certification. One, it stays with you for a while. Like it's something that you have achieved, and you can always claim that as a additional certification that, hey, this is the reason why. And it's very easy for employers, not only the one that in case you start with Stack Nexus or you start with someone else, it's very easy for them to understand your skill, and it proves that you have some in-depth knowledge, and it shows that you have hands-on experience as such. So that is essentially the benefit that you get from the certification process. Now, we are going to show you some data in terms of actual salaries, how the starting salary and the growth as you can achieve over the next few years. So currently, if you see, we have a package which is basically starting in the region of 2.2 lakhs per annum, but that is just because you're getting into once you complete the program, that's where it is. But within a 2-year period, there is a very strong potential of going to something like a 5 to 7 lakhs based on actual data that we have. And then if you are in the mid-level to 4-year level, this is essentially a good bump that you can get after that, right? So there is a good potential from an earning perspective. There are jobs and there is a good salary potential as such, right? So think about it. I mean, this is essentially the reason why from a SmartBridge perspective, we feel confident about offering the Smart Start program. Now, if you have questions at this point, please feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I will dive a little bit more into the Smart Start program now. Okay. So let's go to the Smart Start program. Now, what is this? I mean, it's basically something that helps you get started in a very smart way, right? So that's our Smart Start program. Now, what exactly are we offering in that? The first thing that we are offering is it's a pay after the job placement program. Now, I see some folks are raising their hands, so it's okay. You can actually just put your questions in the chat and we'll pick it up from there, right? So the idea is that we want to make sure that we don't put additional financial burden on you. And when you are getting into this program, we will run a small assessment to make sure that you have what it takes to be part of this program, you have a decent amount of comm skills and so on. So there are small assessments which I will actually talk about. And once you do have that, then you actually get to pay only after the job placement, and that is also something that is recovered from your payroll, right? What the uniqueness of working with SmartBridge and with Smart Interns, you have choices, honestly, in terms of where you can get this knowledge. The benefit is that there are options out there where you can actually go and get this information, but you will not be able to get testing. You will not be able to get project-based learning in the way that SmartBridge has actually designed it, and along with mentors. So these are the two reasons why we strongly feel you should consider SmartBridge as a good option for getting yourself Salesforce certified, right? So these are the three things that this Smart Start program is built upon: helping you financially, giving you hands-on learning, and then giving you a support from a mentor. So that way is you become a well-rounded professional at the end of the program. And a company like StackNexus essentially would be keen to deploy you into the job once you have completed this, and they will be happy to kind of start putting you into the actual job environment once you have completed the program. Okay, let's move on. So how do you basically get started? At the end of the session, Ramya will actually share with you a link. This is the link for registering. That's all you have to do at the end of this program. There is no commitment at that point of time or etc. Just think about it. Think about the read up on Salesforce. There is a lot of material available. We can also help you if you are interested. Just let us know if you want to have additional discussions after the session. But make sure that you go ahead and apply for the screening test and secure at least 70% marks. You sign the pay after placement agreement because obviously there is commitment. So we have to get that commitment in place. And after that, you're all set. We plan to start the cohort very soon in September because we actually have a demand for people even today. So we want to actually get you started as soon as possible for the journey, right? And I will show you exactly what your criteria should be to be eligible for the program. Once you've gone your Smart Interns account, you will actually get with the cohort and you will start learning immediately. You will be connected with an expert mentor and you'll start working on the projects. Towards the end of the sessions, once the training is completed, you will be given a mock test and then you will actually go for the certification, right? So that's as simple as that. Now, who is this eligible for? Who's basically, who are we looking for? We are currently looking for fourth year students and those who have passed out in 2021 without any backlog. If you have passed out in the recent 1 or 2 years as well, I mean, you're very, and you haven't landed something interesting at the moment, definitely go ahead and apply. I mean, we are looking for people with a little bit of a technical bent of mind. If you don't know perfect coding, that's fine. You will learn. If you know Java, if you know some coding, I think that is definitely going to be an advantage for this program. Now, for a developer role, there is a little bit of coding required. For the admin and the other roles, as Neha explained, it's a low-code platform, so you will do more configuration. You need to have a good business bent of mind to understand the user requirements and to be able to position with that. So it's overall, it's about a 3-month program. And this also includes the practice and the instructor-led training sessions as such. So you will be doing a lot of work during this time. So it's going to be very enjoyable. Okay, so this is essentially the program structure. You have a training session. You have a lot of project work to do. You have to prepare for the professional certifications, which we will guide you through. And then we will also help you out with soft skills training. Now, what is this? This is one element that we haven't spoken before, but ultimately, this is what differentiates you from others. Ultimately, this is how you interact with your customers, with your peers, with your how you appear when you go for any kind of interview, etc. So there is a little bit of soft skill required to help you get smarter as to how you answer, how you take care of all those aspects with your customer. So this is something important which we also help you out with. And then at the end of it, we help with the placement support. Now, this is something that is already given in this particular program. In the other programs that we are running, that actually happens during the course of your training. Okay. These are some of the metrics, the numbers as such. So currently we have fixed the fees at 75,000 INR. This is inclusive of everything. It includes the cost of the training, the mentoring, the services, the certification, the placement support, all of it together. We are assuring a minimum salary of 2.2. We may have opportunities to see this go up as well, but at least we feel confident of under promising and getting you at least this much. This is basically like a career loan, which the repayment will start only after you get into placements, and it has a 12-month repayment schedule. That's what we will be working out with the NBFC. Right. So basically, these are some terms and conditions which we can actually share with you later. We will give a no obligation period of 15 days. I think that is very important. So if you wish to exit at the end of that point of time, absolutely okay. But then once you are in, we need you to actually be committed, and learners must ensure at least a 75% attendance, and they must submit all of their assignments on time. I think this is something important because over here we are getting you ready for the job market. Over here we are getting you ready for a professional environment, and in the professional environment, this is what matters most. You basically make a commitment and you stick to that commitment. Right? So you will have support with the mentor, but you have to follow the guidance of the mentor, right? And then you need to have 65% marks in the assessment. And currently, we need you to actually complete your backlogs if you are graduating, so that you can be eligible for the program, right? And then to be eligible for placement, you need to get through the certification. So you will provide all of the support till there. But again, it's your effort that will get you through the certification ultimately. Right? Now, that's broadly it. So I'm going to stop here now. And Ramya, if you don't mind, maybe just reading through any of the questions, any of the comments that the students have, and we can, Neha and myself, we can address those.
Sure. I can read out the questions that the audience have. How much time for completing the certification process?
So the overall course is 3 months, and then you can go for the certification.
Is it applicable for MBA students?
Neha, you want to take that?
I wouldn't say that anything stops you from picking it up. But as far as placement is concerned, we might not have a concern from our side. I mean, and Nathan, please feel free to jump in to join this course. But once you apply for the jobs in the industry, there could be some organization which would want to kind of want to have people only from the BTech or MCA background. So this is about the organization that differs from organization to organization. But as I said, there are multiple paths. If not developer, maybe you could go ahead and apply for QA and consultant kind of job in Salesforce. That should be pretty much open for you.
Absolutely. Because in the QA or the BA role, I think that is where you need to have a good understanding of understanding user requirements. So you're not really required to do the coding side of it. So definitely those are the opportunities that can be open for you. But it is very soon to actually bucketize you. If you are an MBA student, but you have a technical bent of mind, you are happy to do coding, there's nothing stopping you.
We have another question from Shivani. What are the topics covered in screening tests?
So currently it's a very Java-based screening test from the technical assessment perspective. Then we have more of a group discussion, which helps us understand your communication skills. So those are the two assessment criteria that we currently have in place.
We have an interesting question. What if someone fails in the certification? Do we need to pay them too?
Yeah, I think, see, the idea is that we hope that you don't, and we hope that you make attempts again, because ultimately you have spent a good 3 months of your time in this program. And definitely there should be attempts to, you can always go back and give the attempt again to be eligible for placements. But at the same time, we completely understand that if you are not able to get through after one or more attempts, you are welcome to drop out of the program.
Okay. The next question is from Manoj. He has been teaching experience for 9 years, and he wants to change his domain, and he's asking whether he's eligible for this program. Manoj, I think right now we're taking like recently passed out students. I hope that answers your question. And
Maybe I can add on, Ramya. I think,
sure.
Manoj, we are planning to start a more experienced cohort, but that will be more for people who are experienced in Java as such and have hands-on work experience on Java as such. If you feel strongly about getting into this particular journey, we can offer you a training offer without the Smart Start option. So you are welcome to kind of jump in, and we have other models where you can actually pay the fees on an installment basis. So you're welcome to join us on that basis if you like.
Another question from Samrit. He's asking whether it can be done only for certification and not for placement.
Yes, you can. I mean, absolutely. As I said to Manoj right now, you have options of paying for the program directly versus actually going through the Smart Start route of the pay after placement model.
Sai Teja here wants to know whether what is the maximum package that we can expect, even if it's 2.2 minimum package that we have given.
We will have to search. We will have to search. I think right now the market is hot. If you are actually a whiz and at coding, you do well. I think the sky is the limit, honestly.
We have a question from Shivani again. She knows Python, but can she be eligible for the test if it is Java based?
Technically, I think it may be a slight challenge. I don't know, Neha, have you seen people migrating from
Yes.
Python?
Right. Yeah. So as long as you have a logical mind and you understand the syntax and syntactic behind it, you should be able to crack the exam. I'm not sure what kind of question smart interns have for the listing, but as far as job and grasping the concept of Salesforce is concerned, I don't see that you should stop. I think you're good to go.
Okay, that's good to hear.
There's an add-on to this question, whether this test is MCQ test or only coding round.
It's dual actually. So there are some MCQs and there is a fair amount of coding in there.
What is the cost of certification?
The cost of certification is roughly 20,000, 15 to 20,000. I'll have to check the exact numbers. That is the cost of certification roughly. It's about 200 US plus GST or something.
That is correct. That is absolutely right. So to start with, it's $200 for the developers and admin exams, and as you go further, that amount increases. But to start with, absolutely right, $200.
We have another question from Sairam. He's currently in 4th year, and I think he has some backlog. He's asking whether he can be placed if he clears the backlog before the placement drive.
I think so. I think that is definitely an option. We don't want to make that something that limits your choices in life, but you will have to get that as something that you are able to complete. So how we work that out, we'll have to have some offline chat to discuss that. We'll have to see what are your backlogs, what's been the track record as such.
Okay. We have a lot of questions about the eligibility. Like few of them are from BCA and MCA students. They are asking whether they are eligible for it.
So I think the same question, if you don't have a ECE or a computer science background, If you have some coding experience, coding background, I think you are definitely a good fit for something like this. Otherwise, we can always consider you for a admin, BA/QA kind of a role, which are also very much in demand.
I would like to add something here
Sure,
specifically
Neha.
for MCA students. I'm an MCA myself, guys, so that should be a relief for you. And I'm a technical architect already in my career path. So MCA, there's no stopping. Most of the organization do accept BTechs and MCA from the CS background. Electronics is also pretty much acceptable in the market nowadays. So if you have electronics, if you are MCA, more than welcome. You should be able to join. And for BCA, again, as just mentioned, that there are other paths. You have consultant path, you have BA path, you have QA path that you can start with, and as then when you progress with your degree, you should be able to come back to the developer's background if in case you're interested. So that's also possible.
Abhishek here wants to know what's the duration of the course.
3 months.
I think those are the questions that we have. Do we have
Okay.
any questions? Yeah.
Maybe Ramya, you can share the link and the signing on process, how this will be disseminated. So that will help students understand what to do next.
Sure. Sure. We have actually added the link for enrolling for this program. You can see in the chat window. So all the students who are interested in this program can go to the link and register yourself, and later on you'll get a confirmation email and all the procedure for enrollment, the assessment exam, or when it is going to happen, when the course is going to start. All those details you'll get in an email after registration. We have another question from Aman. He's asking, is the eligibility criteria at the time of placement or before starting the program?
It is to get into the program. So I can stress again, I think for the benefit of the students, guys, if you feel that you want to give it a shot, definitely don't hesitate in applying. We will reach out to you and we'll have a conversation to see what is pending as such, right? So if there's any gaps or anything, those can be assessed. But the key is reading up about Salesforce. The key is reading up more about the developer roles, about the architect roles, the way that Neha shared, and trying to figure out more if this is what excites you and this is something that you would want to do. Because the future is there. I mean, if you see where the market is headed right now, more and more companies are going online. More and more operations are essentially getting digitized, and as they are doing that, they really have to rely on tools like Salesforce to keep the business going.
Okay. Yatish here has a question that if at all they are joining as an admin, is it necessary to have coding skills?
Admin, you can do even without it. Though the preference is that you actually have some coding. I mean, not to have a completely zero background as such, but yes, you can join. But the ratio of jobs in the market is to give you an understanding. If there are 100 jobs in the market, 70 of those jobs would be basically for developers. 15 of those jobs would be for admins, and 15 of those jobs would be for QA as such. So you have a little bit of a mismatch, right? So there are jobs for BA and for QA, but the amount of jobs for the developer community or the developer roles is a little bit more.
Okay. So we have few of the questions related to the percentage in their 10th and 12th. They have around 55 to 60. So are they eligible for placement?
Yes, they are. if you have good comm skills, if you have an interest in technology, if you can code, I mean, you definitely have an option here.
Someone is asking when to pay the fee.
Right. So we don't have any requirement to pay the fees right now. There is a 10% deposit registration that will need to be paid as refundable, but it's required to ensure that only interested people are getting into the program. There is no requirement to pay fee at this moment. The fee will be collected later via when you are actually getting placed, and it's done again on a monthly installment basis, as I had shared, 12 monthly installments of 6250 each.
Okay. We have another question. He's asking whether we choose the role for them or they choose the role.
Yeah, so as I said, I think the idea is that we want to see the folks going down the developer role. One, you have better prospects, you have better salaries, and you have better demand. And the folks who are trying for developer but currently are not able to get into the developer side will be considered more for the admin and the QA side of the role. You can indicate this as an interest as well, and we'll definitely try to accommodate if that is possible.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. So guys, if you have more questions, you can add on to the chat window. And meanwhile, we have a scan it here. You can scan for registration for this program, or you can use the link that is given in the chat window. Sign up, Badu, 75,000 is a fee for the program, which you need to pay after the placement, as Nitin has just referred. Yeah, another question. After clearing the exam, we move on to the next part, like the training.
That's right.
Another question, Anuja, is it free now, the program?
Yeah, Anuja, it's not free. I mean, there's nothing free. There is no payment at this time. The payment is deferred to after your placement. After your 15-day mark in the program, you have a requirement to make the payment for this training once you have been placed. So you have the obligation to basically pay for it. It's not free. There is a 10% deposit that will be collected once you are getting into the program.
Rajkumar is here asking when will the program will start.
We have to get the cohort together. I think we plan to start as soon as possible.
Okay, we have a question from Manoj again. If the certification cost is 20,000 and the training cost is 70, will the total be 95,000?
No, it's 75,000 all inclusive.
What are the contents of the exam?
As we mentioned earlier, the contents of the exam will be Java based. They are going to be partly MCQs and partly coding.
Right. And the MCQs, we will be having aptitude, reasoning, and verbal. Yeah. And Java coding questions. After the program, is the placement confirmed or not? Navya has a question.
After the program, after the certification, the placement is confirmed.
Okay. Are there any freelancing jobs? Do we assist?
I think so. I think there is no shortage of freelancing opportunities for this. You can be a consultant. You can actually take on variable pay jobs as well. So, if you just don't want to work full time, you have options of doing something shorter term or on a gig based as well. So those options definitely exist.
I think those are the questions that we have. Rest we have already answered. Most of them are repetitive, actually.
So, folks, if you think this session will be maintained on our website as well, so the recording is available there. If you wish to go back, take a look at it. You want to drop us an email. I think Ramya has shared the link. So don't let this be the stop. Go ahead and apply. Go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll basically try and get to them as soon as possible. Right? And I guess, Ramya, we will share the some of this material with students as well, right?
Yes, definitely. We'll share details about our program, and once they register, they'll have all the details about the program.
Oh, that's a good question. What is the job location? Okay. So in the pandemic time, job location is work from home, as we all see, but eventually the job location will be based on the project. So you have to be open to the idea of being open to different locations as well. It is the start of your career. I think this is a great time to look for opportunities in different parts of the globe as such. Can be in India, can be in other places. Mostly, I think, I don't know, Neha, where are most of our developers? They're mostly in Pune, right?
Yes, Pune and Hyderabad is the location, and I think the other locations would be Delhi, Jaipur. We have a big, huge market in north as well, and then of course Pune and Hyderabad, as you said.
Right.
We have another question. Is there any agreement?
Yes, there is an agreement. The agreement will be with the NBFC for securing the loan for the pay after placement program. There is also a training agreement that you will be signing with us and a loan agreement with the NBFC.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are the questions we have. So anyone having any question, you can quickly post it on, because I think we have a couple of minutes more, 1 or 2. We'll be closing soon. There's a question, training is online.
Yes, currently this is a completely online session. But the nice thing about the Smart Interns platform is that you will be connected on with a mentor. And you won't feel like it is online. There is a good camaraderie that happens between the students who are part of the program. You can learn from each other, share information with each other, and so on. So it's online, but it's kind of with a community building opportunity within the students.
Okay, I think we can wrap up now. Thank you for answering all the questions, Nitin and Neha.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ramya.
Yeah. So after this webinar, all the participants would be getting a mail from us regarding the registration links and the processes of the program. Please do register. And if at all you have any queries, you can put it up in the registration form. And you can also contact us through the platform. And I once again, on behalf of Smart Interns, I would like to thank you all for graciously joining us for this session. All right, then, have a good night. Thank you, Nitin, and thank you, Neha.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one, and hope to see you in the sessions.
Sure. Bye, everyone.